Hello dear students, myself Mrs. Rajashri Naik from BYK College of Commerce Nasik welcomes you on our online lecture series arranged by Gokhale Education Society Nasik. In the last online lecture, we have studied introduction of the chapter supply analysis, concept of total output, stock and supply, meaning and definitions of supply, individual supply schedule and curve, and market supply schedule and curve. In this online lecture, we are going to study about law of supply, assumptions of the law, supply schedule and supply curve. Content of today's presentation is law of supply, introduction of law, statement of the law, assumptions of the law, and supply schedule and supply curve. Now about the law of supply. The law of supply is also a fundamental principle of economic theory like law of demand. The law of supply is also a fundamental principle of economic theory like law of demand. It was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principles of Economics, which was published in 1890. The law explains the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied. Functional relationship means direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Now, statement of the law. Other things being constant, higher the price of the commodity, more is the quantity supplied, and lower the price of a commodity, less is the quantity supplied. Other thing being constant, higher the price of a commodity, more is the quantity supplied, and lower is the price of a commodity, less is the quantity supplied. Symbolically, supply of X commodity is function of price of X commodity. S stands for supply, X stands for commodity, F stands for function, and P stands for price of commodity. In simple words, other factors remaining constant, a rise in price results in a rise in the quantity supplied, and a fall in price results in a fall in the quantity supplied. Thus, there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. The change in the price of the commodity affects the behavior of seller as well as the consumer. The change in the price of the commodity affects the behavior of seller as well as the consumer. The consumer is interested in maximizing his satisfaction and buys less at a higher price and more at a lower price. And the seller is interested in maximization of profit. Therefore, he tries to sell more at a higher price and less at a lower price. The seller's reservation price is the basis of the law of supply. The seller's reservation price is the basis of the law of supply. The reservation price is the minimum price at which the seller is willing to sell his goods. Reservation price is the minimum price at which the seller is willing to sell his goods. It is the price below which the seller is reluctant to sell. The reservation price is based on the cost of production, the seller's need for cash, the availability of storage facilities, future price expectations, etc. Thus, when the market price is close to reservation price, the profit being low, and at that time, the producer offers only a part of his stock for sale. Listen carefully. Again, I will repeat the same sentence. Thus, when the market price is close to reservation price, the profit being low, and the producer offers only a part of his stock for sale. However, when the market price rises, profitability increases and the producers offers more stock for sale. When the market price rises, profitability increases and the producer offers more stock for sale. Now let us see the assumptions of the law. The law of supply is based on the following assumptions. Number one, constant cost of production. Second assumption, constant technique of production. Third assumption, no change in weather conditions. Fourth assumption, no change in government policy. Fifth assumption, no change in transport cost. Sixth assumption, prices of other goods remain constant. And the last one, no future expectations. Now the first assumption of the law of supply is constant cost of production. It is assumed that there is no change in the cost of production. What is the meaning of cost of production? Production or product cost refer to the costs incurred by a business from manufacturing a product or providing a service. What do you mean by cost of production? Production or product cost refer to the costs incurred by a business from manufacturing a product or providing a service. Production costs include variety of expenses such as labor, raw materials, consumable manufacturing supplies, and general overhead. Supply of commodity is also affected by the price of factors which are used in production of the commodity. Now the price of factors means what? The prices of factors of production. When the factors of production are easily available and at comparatively low prices, the producers can increase his volume of production and thus increase the supply. When the factors of production are easily available and at comparatively low prices, the producer can increase his volume of production and thus increase the supply. Conversely, if the factor prices increases, then cost of production increases and supply tends to decrease. An unfavorable change in the cost of production will affect the profits of the seller. Therefore, less quantity will be supplied at the same price. And a favorable change in the cost of production leads to more quantity will be supplied at the same price. For example, a rise in production cost may reduce the supply in the market, especially when higher costs are not viable. A fall in production cost may induce the producer to produce more and accordingly supply more in the market. So, the law of supply assumes that no change in cost of production. Now, next assumption of law of supply is constant technique of production. It is also assumed that technique of production does not change. Improved technique of production may lead to an increase in production. This is in turn may lead to an increase in supply at the same price. Modern technology not only improves the quality but also the quantity of the production. The quantity of production is increased due to the speed of the machines and also there is reduction in wastages. So the increased production facilitates more supply in market. Inventions and innovations make it possible to produce more or better commodities and thus tend to increase the quantity supplied of same product. Inventions and innovations make it possible to produce more or better commodities and thus tend to increase the quantity supplied of same product. Thus, law of supply assumes that no change in the technology and methods of production. The next assumption of the law of supply is no change in weather condition. It is assumed that there is no change in the weather conditions. It is assumed that the weather and the climatic conditions remain unchanged. It is assumed that the weather and climatic conditions remain unchanged. For instance, natural calamities such as flood, drought, cyclone, earthquakes, etc. adversely affect the supply of commodities, especially agricultural commodities. So natural commodities may decrease the supply, hence it is assumed that no change in weather conditions. Next assumption is no change in government policy. It is also assumed that government policies like taxation policy, trade policy, etc. remain unchanged. Government policies like taxation, subsidies, industrial policies, etc. may encourage or discourage the production and supply depending upon government policy measures. Government policies like taxation, subsidies, industrial policies, etc. may encourage or discourage production and supply depending upon government policy measures. Government policy towards taxes, incentives, licensing, etc. influence the supply in the market. For instance, if the government provides lot of incentives to the producers in the form of tax holiday, in the form of subsidies on inputs, in the form of cash incentives, etc. then the producers would be willing to produce more, which in turn would increase the supply in the market. And if it happens vice versa, then there would be decrease in supply in the market. Means favorable government policies may increase the supply and unfavorable government policies may discourage the supply. It is also assumed that the government policies on taxation, especially sales tax, excise duties, custom duties, etc. remain unchanged. A change in taxes will affect the price of the commodities and their supply. Thus, law of supply assumes that no change in government policy. Next assumption, no change in transport cost. It is assumed that there is no change in the condition of transport facilities and transport cost. It is assumed that the transport costs remain unchanged, means no change. The transport network is not affected by strikes or hike in petrol and diesel prices. A change in transport cost affects the price of the commodities and their supply. A change in transport cost affects the price of the commodities and their supply. For example, better transport facilities increases supply at the same price and the worst transport facility decreases supply at the same price. Better transport facility increases the supply at the same price and worst transport facility decreases the supply at the same price. If transport facilities are easily and cheaply available for a particular good, its supply will be wider as all areas of the market can be easily reached. On the other hand, where transport facilities are undeveloped, the supply will be less and the market will be narrow to that extent. Next assumption is prices of other goods remain constant. Prices of other goods are assumed to remain constant. If there is change in prices of other goods, then the law of supply may not hold true. If there is change in prices of other goods, then the law of supply may not hold true because producer may transfer the resources to other factors. An increase in the price of other goods makes them more profitable in comparison to a given commodity. As a result, the firm shifts its limited resources from production of a given commodity to the production of other goods. Now see the example. For example, An increase in the price of wheat will induce the farmer to use his land for the cultivation of wheat instead of rice. So, supply of rice decreases. And so it is assumed that is why it is assumed that no change in price of other goods. Next assumption is no future expectations. The law also assumes that the sellers do not expect future changes in the price of the product. Future expectations about the future price will affect the supply. If the prices are expected to rise in the future, the producers may hold on to the stock rather than supplying it in the market. And this will reduce the supply in the market for the time being. Even if the price is high, sellers are not ready to release the goods in the anticipation of future rise in price, expecting to make huge profits. And suppose if the prices are expected to fall in the future, at that time, the producers may release the stock and it results in increase in the supply even the price is low, just to avoid future loss. So these are the assumptions of law of supply. In short, all the factors other than the price of that commodity influencing the supply of the commodity must remain the same for the law of supply to hold true. In short, all the factors other than the price of the commodity influencing the supply of the commodity must remain same for the law of supply to hold true. Now the next slide is about supply schedule and supply curve. Law of supply is explained with the help of the following schedule and diagram. See the supply schedule. Table number 4.3. Table number 4.3 explains the direct relationship between price and quantity of commodity supplied. When price rises from rupees 10 to 20, then 30 to 40, 40 to 50, the supply also rises from 100 to 200, 300, 400 and 500 units respectively. It means when price rises, supply also rises, and when price falls, supply also falls. Thus, there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied, which is shown in the next slide, figure number 4.4. Supply curve. See the supply curve. In the figure 4.4, x-axis represents quantity supplied and y-axis represents the price of the commodity. Supply curve SS slopes upwards from left to right, which has a positive slope. It indicates a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. So, in today's lecture, we have covered law of supply, its assumptions, and supply schedule and supply curve. That's it. In the next online lecture video, we will go with exceptions to law of supply. Till then, have a great time. Thanking you.